going to first pull some cards and try to determine if this is a couples reading, a singles reading, to help you kind of figure out if this really is for you. So give us some clarifying cards and help us determine what, so we're looking at what's next in love. Who really needs to hear this message? Need to hear. Oh, that one came flying out. The Queen of Cups. Okay. So I'm getting, you're going through some emotions. There's a good chance you're single. You may be someone who has been either going through a lot of personal work, personal healing, kind of delving a little bit deeper into your emotions. Perhaps you're kind of trying to, I just heard glow up. Like you're going through a glow up, or you're just kind of leveling up. I don't know why, but I'm getting this sense that you might have recently come out of a relationship and you're almost like trying to figure out, again, what's next? Where do I go from here? What do I need to work on so that my next relationship doesn't end up like the one that I just moved away from, right? So I'm just getting this sense of someone who is starting over, but has done a lot of work. And then I'm going to get it. Can I have a clarifier card for the Queen of Cups? We have the Four of Cups. Yeah, so kind of, that's what I was wondering. So I definitely think you're coming out of a situation that didn't turn out the way you hoped, or I think that you might have been in a situation that you thought was kind of going in one direction and then it ended up taking a turn. There might have been a lot of gossip surrounding it. A third party might have been involved, but it was just like, I'm feeling a sense that in somehow, some way you got disappointed. And now though, you've kind of moved on beyond that. I think you've done all the initial work and that you're probably in a place, again, like I said, that I think you are doing some major healing, some growth. You're trying to almost like revive your sense of worth as far as like your sexuality goes, your worth as a partner goes. You're building yourself back up after some hardship. So if this sounds like you, then this is probably your reading. And we are going to keep these cards here. I just got this sense of you might be someone that's kind of thinking like, am I ever going to be in a relationship again? Am I lovable? Am I worthy? And I really hope this didn't happen, but I just got this sense that perhaps some of you were cheated on. And that might have been why you left, or you just got betrayed, or the other person just kind of walked away. So something happened, I'm feeling, that really kind of knocked you down. Like it knocked you down as far as your belief in yourself, your sense of worth, your sense of what you bring to another person. I think you've been trying to heal yourself with those aspects, kind of understand that you are you are worthy, or what your love is worth pursuing. And so I'm going to drop this one because it just was wanting to fall out. All right, so we have the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, so that sense of holding on to things, right? And not letting go. So the Four of Pentacles, and it's really interesting because you have two fours here. The Four of Pentacles is about like having something to offer, and for some reason you're also holding back. So because of fear or because of doubt, right, you might be holding back. So perhaps you are wanting to start putting yourself out there, wanting to date again, but part of you is kind of holding yourself back because you're scared, you're still healing, right, is what I'm getting. I always see the Four of Pentacles as kind of a warning to you that if you holding on to what you have now, in some sense, it keeps you safe. But if you don't let go, if you don't open up, then you'll never have more, right? So what you have right now is probably enough. I think, again, I feel like you've gotten to that point where you've probably adjusted to being alone again. You probably are in your groove again. I think you've been doing a lot of healing work. But at the same time, I think part of you does want to have love in your life again, does want to have a relationship. Like you have like this sense of hope still. You have this sense of Just like this sensuality, this wanting that you want intimacy in your life, right? But there's like this tornness inside of you of, well, if I open myself back up again, what am I opening up myself to? Am I opening up myself to more pain? Or if I take this chance, if I take this gamble, right? I don't know. I could be opening up myself to something wonderful. So what would be your next steps for this person? So where do we find ourselves and where should we go from here? Okay, this card just wanted to stick. Okay, so I guess my sense is for a lot of you in love, we need to be thinking about transformation, right? No matter what the situation is, you're being called on to transform, to change things, and to kind of go with the flow. For you guys, though, I feel like what this card is saying is, I think, again, you've probably come to the point where you really have a clear idea of what you want in a partner. I'm hoping you've gotten to the point now where you do understand that you do have worth, you do have value, you do have a lot to offer, but like, a person to date or a person to be with isn't going to magically just like fall out of your ceiling, right? When you're like sitting at home every night, you got to put yourself out there, right? So I think that's where that transformation comes in, is you got to go from holding back or kind of being in your own little cocoon. We got to break out of that and we got to open up a little. We got to put ourselves out there. We got to get back in the game. You got to transform it. And I think you've also transformed as a person. And you're stronger than you were before. I feel like you've learned the lessons that you needed to learn. And I think you've become more solid in yourself as an individual. So what you've been through, what you learned wasn't in vain, right? It's helped you evolve and develop, which means that things are going to be different. You'll make different choices when you choose a partner. You're not coming from the same perspective that you were. But you gotta be willing to, I think, put yourself out there and leave your comfort behind, right? There's a little bit of a sacrifice on your part to become vulnerable again. And again, if you don't ever do anything, right, nothing's lost, but nothing's gained either. If you don't transform, nothing's lost, but nothing's gained. It'll forever be in a state of wishing, but you'll never have it in your life. We want to like manifest these things in our daily life. I'm going to get a clarifier card for the death card. So talk a little bit more about the transformation of where we find ourselves. And I'm kind of getting the sense of someone that knows it. Like, I feel like you're probably working on yourself and you probably have moments where you're like, dude, I look hot right now. I look good tonight. I'm rocking it. Or like, yeah, man, I'm doing good. Like, man, and just like having that sense of wanting someone there, like wanting, you're just kind of like, dude, why am I alone? Right. But then another part of you is like, oh, I'm alone because yeah, I'm in my shell, or I got hurt, or I'm feeling scared or vulnerable, or I don't know if I can do this anymore. So that part kind of creeps in as well. Okay, this card did not want to fall out of my hand. The Magician. Okay, this is so funny because in the beginning of this reading, this card kind of came out and I saw it and then I put it back and it came out again. So this card really wants to be here. And the Magician is an amazing card, right? It's about your potential. It's about the fact that you basically can manifest and create the things you want. Like, you have all the tools you need. And that kind of goes back to what I said before. I think you're at a position now. You've learned your lesson. You've done your healing, right? And I think this is pretty much what's next in love for you. I think that you're done with the loneliness. I think you're done with the self-growth. I mean, we're never done with self-growth, but I think you're done with the concentrated working on myself, right? We can work on ourselves, we can learn lessons, we can change, but at some point, you're not going to grow anymore alone. If you're working on yourself in a relationship, then there's only so much you can do alone. At some point, you're going to have to work on the skills you've gained or the lessons you've learned with another person, because that's really where you need those skills, right? Those things are so important, but at some point, you've got to practice, right? So I think it's time. So you got to get it out of the healing, making changes, self stage, and we got to move towards practice. Like, application is really what I want to say. I think it's time to apply what you've learned to another situation. Like, I just feel like you're ready. You're ready to date again. You're ready to get out there. It's time to transform. It's time to let go a little. It's time to let love back in. It's time to let someone back in, knowing that you are not the same person you were 4 months ago or 6 months ago, right? You have changed. You have grown. You've done the work that you needed to do. And now it's time to enjoy life again. Now it's time to again, I keep feeling this, like it's time to apply what you learned to a new situation. Because I think this is something that we all can fall prey to, and is that when new situations present themselves, sometimes we're still acting from the old perspective, right? So we're expecting this new person might say things, do things, be things, feel things that the old person did. But it's really not fair to anyone new that wants to come into your life, because everybody's different. Every situation's going to be different. And the stuff that you're holding on to, the stuff that, left you feeling probably hopeless, or whatever it was, that sense of loss or that sense of betrayal or that sense of confusion within the relationship, right? That sense of, oh no, it's whatever it was that caused the separation is specific to that person in that situation. So I think there's some hurt feelings here. I think there's some worry about opening up and being vulnerable. But you have to try again, because ultimately you are a loving, sensual being that deserves love in your life, that deserves intimacy. And you have what it takes, I think, to create a successful relationship with someone. But you can't do it if you kind of stay stuck in the stage you're in now. It's time to transform. It's time to apply what you've learned. It's time to let someone in, understanding that they're a new person, a new situation, and it's not going to be the same. And yeah, I think just being vulnerable. So I'd say, I guess it's time for you to get out there, and that's what's next in love for you. I'm going to get some oracle cards. I do want to get some advice for you. Let's see. And we're going to use the Moonology cards. Okay, what advice can we give I'm feeling someone that's almost like a hopeless romantic. You're like this hopeless romantic, and again, it's I'm getting the sense that you're also very sensual, that you like intimacy, you like that stuff in your life, you're missing it. It's okay, you gotta be vulnerable, you gotta open up. I think you're ready. That's what I just keep feeling over and over, is like you're ready. You're ready to move on, you're ready to try again. Okay, I think you've kind of learned everything you're going to learn as a single. You got to learn. You're going to keep learning and growing, but you need to do it with others at this point. That's kind of the reality of learning and growing. If you want to figure out how to be a good partner, or how to set the kind of boundaries you need to set to have a good partner for you, then that stuff at some point has to be applied in real situations. Okay, let's get some advice. Where can we tell our person here? Whoa. So I'm going to take this because it came on the bottom, but it says step out of your comfort zone. I mean, come on. That's literally what we just talked about the whole time. These cards always do that to me. But yeah, step out of your comfort zone is perfect for you. And I think that's pretty much right what this is saying. All of these cards really are saying the same thing, that you're kind of went into a cocoon, a bubble, you're safe. You don't have the pain you were feeling. You don't have the worry you were feeling, the betrayal, the loss, the sense of a loss of your self-worth or what you're worth in a relationship. But you got to move on, or you're never going to have the things you want if you stay where you're at now. So again, further confirmation that it's time for you to get back in the game. It's time for you to apply what you learned. It's time for you to unleash that beauty on the world. Because I think you got it going on, honestly. All right, and then we have a win-win outcome is forecast. Pretty cool. So I'm getting the sense that good things are going to come your way in love, But you got to leave your couch. You got to leave your bed. You got to leave your safety net. You got to put yourself out there. You got to let people in, and you have to try again. All right. So I'm going to leave you here. I hope this resonated with you. And if this is you and this did really resonate, I'm wishing you the best. Put yourself out there. Remember your worth. And don't be afraid to just explore and enjoy life and sexuality and intimacy with others, because it's really the good stuff in life. And we all deserve to have it in our lives. I think we all need it. Well, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.